Welcome to another episode of the Whole Lot Show. Today we're going to be introducing to you guys a new segment we're calling Working Title.
Working title?
Yeah, that's what we're calling it.
We would call it a working title?
We're not calling it Working Title.
Y'all let us know. Y'all, how do y'all feel about from between them cheeks? From the cheeks looking in?
Talking out the ass. Me personally, I like talking out the ass.
Yeah. But if we ever want to get any kind of sponsors or anything like that, or like,
Get fucking adult diapers, sponsorship.
bro, you know as well as I do, that depends.
Baby wipes.
Ah!
You know.
All right. But you know what? We're just going to bring it out. Been working on a little something. I'm still learning this whole editing crap. So y'all just tell us what you think. Just something we threw together in about 30 minutes. And we're just going to go ahead and just smack y'all up in there. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the Whole Ass Show. See the black hole? What goes in must come out.
Don't get sucked in now.
So on this first episode of Talking Out the Ass from Between the Cheeks Looking In, I just don't know. Got a question for you. How does a battery get out of the hospital?
Recharged?
Gets discharged.
Ah.
Throw it in there.
Wow.
Yeah, whatever. Well, my man here and myself, we're not the biggest Jellyroll fans. Neither are we haters. Now, I will repeat that. We are not haters. If you find something you think we might like, hit us up. We might try it. But without further ado...
But that's not what we're doing this episode.
No, it's not a Jellyroll music video reaction.
Right.
I just caught a glimpse of something. I've already let him know. I've already heard about half of it because I was cleaning the house. But let's just throw it in there. Ooh. Is that set up okay back there?
Oh, wow.
Is that okay?
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, that works.
All right. Let's see what this is. So this is about Jason DeFord, which is his real name.
Okay.
He's got an opening statement. And the reason why it caught my eye is because we both look, we look cheek to cheek when it comes to drugs and addictions. So let's just hear what this man had to say. I want to be able to hear it so I can know what's going on. But
start with Mr. DeFord. Welcome for your first committee hearing, I assume.
Forgive me, I'm a little nervous. I'm used to having a rock and roll band behind me when I have a microphone in front of me. During the time that I've been given to share my testimony here, I think it's important to note before I start that in these 5 minutes I'll be speaking that somebody in the United States will die of a drug overdose, and it is almost a 72% chance that during those 5 minutes it will be fentanyl related. Having started that way, Chairman Brown, Ranking Member Scott, and esteemed committee members, thank you for having me. I know this is a bit of a curveball, but I like a little baseball myself. My name is Jason DeFord, but to most I am known as Jellyroll. It is important to establish earlier that I am a musician and that I have no political alliance. I am neither Democrat nor Republican. In fact, because of my past, my right to vote has been restricted. Thus far, I have never paid attention to a political race in my life. Ironically, I think that makes me the perfect person to speak about this because fentanyl transcends partisanship and ideology, gentlemen and women. This is a totally different problem. And I was speaking outside to the media, and I gave them a statistic that said 190 people a day overdose and die every single day in the United States of America. That is about a 737 plane. That's what about a 737 aircraft can carry. Could you imagine the national media attention it would get if they were reporting that a plane was crashing every single day and killing 190 people? But because it's 190...
I didn't know that.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how old this is. I don't know how old this video is, but man, like...
This video is January 11th.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually fairly new.
Okay. I would have never guessed any of that, to be honest. I mean, I know that there's a there's a drug issue, huge drug issue, and I mean, to put it that way, that's strong right there. To put it in the fact that, like, yeah, like 190 people die of overdose, and everybody's just like, oh, okay, it's just another druggie dying. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But when you put it as like the amount, when you put it in a scale like a plane crashing, like a full 737 plane crashing, yeah, like he's got a point. Like, then you take notice,
Yeah,
like,
that's a
if
lot.
yeah, if you were to say, hey, another 737 plane crash today, killing 190 people, everybody be like, oh shit.
Versus,
Like,
well, on
god
today's
damn.
news, we
Right,
found someone passed out on the highway that actually OD'd
right,
and it died.
right. Everybody would just kind of glance over it and just keep it moving. But
Now,
if they were to mention, like a plane crashing, right, they would talk about it for at least, at the very least, a week.
yeah, they would.
You
They
know.
would. Now, let me
So
ask you this. Do you consider addiction to be a disease? Or do you consider it to be your choice? A lot of the times, I
so
think it's your choice. And because you become dependent on it because it
so
makes you feel a certain way about the shit going on.
so it can be both. I feel like
Do you think it's genetic?
it can be, yes. You can be genetically predisposed, and I want to say that they kind of proved that. How, like alcoholism is genetic. You know what I mean? There are certain, like, there's been studies where they do talk about the fact that addictions, you know can be genetic. Whatever that addiction might be, it can be genetic. Um, so sometimes, now where I say it's a choice, it's more of the person themselves. Like, just because you come from that doesn't mean that's what you have to be.
Yeah. No, I mean, I
You know
get
what
it,
I mean?
but
It's
so
just some people are more susceptible to addiction, depending on their
personality.
environment. No, depending on their environment also.
Okay, only reason I
Because I
said,
think environment comes into play with that shit
well, the
too.
only reason, I mean, I believe that too, but from the stuff that I grew up in or grew up seeing, I'm nothing of it. Now, it's in, in my family,
Yeah.
like it's genetically there.
Yeah.
But for me as an individual, I didn't like it. I didn't try. The only thing I've ever done is actually marijuana. Um, because I seen what it did to other people that were family, and I seen what it done to other people that were friends, and that's like with alcohol. Alcohol is also a severe. No, I wouldn't say severe, but it's been a pretty serious thing in my past growing up, and I didn't turn out nothing like it. Now, that's the reason why I said, do you think it's more of a personality? Like, because I mean, yeah, they've proven that it can be genetically in
Yeah.
the system.
So
Like, where if you get it, it's like one of those kind of things you can't live without it.
yeah, so I mean, for example, like for me, it could have been environmental, because where I
Mm-hmm.
lived, you know, where I lived, it was everywhere. Drugs were everywhere,
Yeah,
and it was one of those where that's an environment issue, but it never really drove me to be like, well, might as well do it because everybody else is doing it,
yeah, because
or
we've seen what other
or
people look
like,
like.
man, like, life here sucks. Life here sucks so bad. I mean, I might as well, shit,
Make it
join
easy.
in on the fun. Yeah, and
Yeah,
make it easy on myself. No, so it doesn't, like, environment plays to it, but only if, like I said, it depends on the person too.
yeah,
You know.
and I believe that too, and that's what I mean with like an addictive personality, like where because like with medications, for example, like he's talking with fentanyl and everything. Like with medications, like that's one thing. Like whenever my doctor said, "Oh, hey, you should take something for anger management," I was like, "Okay, but what are the side effects?" And then I started seeing the side effects. Like I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to be suicidal. I was like, "But what happens if I just stop taking it?" And then I get the whole rundown, like, "Oh, well, you can't just cut it out because if you do, you'll experience this, you'll experience that." Well, I started taking it. Did it help my anger some? Yeah. But one thing I didn't like, I ran out of my prescription, right? And it was on a weekend. And guess what? The pharmacy at the time was closed. Well, Saturday rolls by, Sunday rolls by. I'm fine. Monday, I started getting this shit called the zaps. Like where like if you turn your head real quick, it's almost like you're severely drunk, where
Yeah.
it just like yeah, it makes you sick. And like yeah, I would start walking and like I'd feel parts of my face going numb. And so I contacted my doctor, and she said, "Well, yeah, how long has it been since you haven't had your medication?" I was like, "Well, I'm going to pick it up today." I was like, "But I literally feel like I'm levitating, and if I move real fast," I said, "I get seasick." I was like, "My face is tingling, my lips are tingling." My wife and my mom can't pick me up, so now I'm in a situation where I've got to have it, and that's where the government, I think, plays the biggest role in being one of the largest drug dealers in the entire world.
Yeah.
Fentanyl,
Yeah.
Adderall,
Yeah.
ADHD medication, Ritalin, uh, morphine drips, all this, that, and the other. I mean, there's so many other things that we could take that would not be as severe and addictive and have like extreme repercussions, I guess I should call it.
Yeah.
Side effects. There we go.
Yeah.
The extreme side effects. Like, literally. I mean, you think about like with weed, and then, whenever we were younger, and I'm not going to say those years, y'all shut up. We're not that old, but like whenever we were younger in like middle school and going into high school, then it became cocaine, crack, and like perk fives,
Yeah.
Xanax,
Yeah.
and then like all of our friends getting hooked on that shit. And then now they start introducing others. Oh well, we can deal with the opioid crisis if we just introduce a new medication. And now we get shit like fentanyl. And what was in patches? You know what I'm talking about? Not lidocaine. Was it fentanyl? You know what I'm talking about? The patches, like people were heating them up and chewing them and shit like that.
Fuck, I can't remember.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's insane. And at the end of the day, why not just make drugs legal in general? Because then this whole thing with natural selection will really occur. But then you think about people who look at it like that, because the people that don't want to change their lifestyle, the people that
Yeah,
don't want to
see-
get better, then it's like, oh, well, you're just being insensitive.
Well, see, and that's where I think choice comes in. When
But
those,
in the United States, we can't have a choice, but yet we're free.
but that's where I think choice comes in, though. Like to be an addict. If you're given the resources.
I mean, am I wrong for feeling that way?
No, I mean, but if you're given the resources and the opportunity to better yourself and to rehab yourself, and you don't take it wholeheartedly,
Okay, let me ask you this next question. I'm not trying to cut you. I'm being serious. You know what they do for people that have opioid addiction, right? Opioid addictions, right? You heard of Suboxone, right?
Yeah.
Where they go to these clinics
Mm-hmm.
and they can get the shit for free,
Mm-hmm.
and they wonder why they can't get them off of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I know they replace one thing with another, and it ends in the end. It ends up being addicting also.
It's just it's aggravating.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that addiction is solely a choice. And that's like I brought up my own medications, because it's not a choice. I just noticed that I was having a lot more not really outbreaks. I wasn't violent, beating my family and stuff like. It's not that kind of crazy shit. But for me, generally, like my aggravation level was like here, and it brought it down to like shoulder height. So it's more manageable because I deal with stupid people every day, and I do say stupid because some of the choices and the questions they ask, it's just complete stupidity. And that's your same feel too. You deal with it too.
Yeah.
And so like when it comes to that like that, it's like they have to give people in today's society the smart thinking, the quick thinking, the snappy personality. They got to give us something to calm us down because everybody else is too damn stupid. They all rely on that damn cell phone, Facebook and Instagram and YouTube mechanics. Like you can learn a lot from YouTube. But if you're just dumb, like I'm dumb on some stuff. I am. But if you're just dumb and you can't pick up something and you can't watch a video and you can't read instructions to do one simple thing like put a microphone together, you just leave it alone. Just focus on what you're good at. I rest on their face. I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just that it's frustrating, bro. It is. And I'm not going on a rant, but it is extremely frustrating with the stupidity that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. And we're just in the automotive field.
Yeah.
We're in automotive. And they're that dumb.
Yeah.
I have more women with more common sense or the ability to question somebody about automotive than I ever have a male. And that is sad.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think genetics have have to play in their part too. But like I said, it's also like your own personal human choice too. You know, 'cause like I said, I mean, I grew up around it, but it doesn't mean that I was gonna use it too. My parents never did.
We got out
My
of it.
parents didn't, but you know, it's environment wise. You know, like all your friends are doing it. You know, the people that you're growing up with are doing it, right? Not just in your home, but like outside of your home, where you spend most of your time. You know, when you're growing up, you know, to be fair, you spend a lot of time in school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of time with your friends and all this other stuff. So when you see them doing it, you know, you feel like you want to do it too. But I don't know. I never did, to be honest. I never saw the point of it. Yeah, I mean, I like to drink,
It's a false
but I don't.
reality.
I mean, I like to drink, but you know, my drinking doesn't involve me. You know,
Throwing your life away.
yeah, like it's not important. You know, if I can catch a drink here and there, you know, cool. Yeah, I'll catch a drink here and there. You know, like, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna drink because I need to drink.
Yeah, we won't let it get to that point.
No, I mean,
But I started a rant,
yeah,
and it kind of went there.
that's all right.
Drug addicts, we don't feel that way because America has been known to bully and shame drug addicts instead of dealing and trying to understand what the actual root of the problem is with that. But the sad news is that that narrative is changing too, because the statistics say that in all likelihood, almost every person in this room has lost a friend, family member, or colleague to the disease known as addiction. I've attended more funerals than I care to share with y'all. This committee, I could sit here and cry for days about the caskets I've carried of people I loved dearly, deeply, in my soul, good people, not just drug addicts, uncles, friends, cousins, normal people. Some people that just got in a car wreck and started taking a pain pill to manage it. One thing led to the other. And how fast it spirals out of control, I don't think people truly understand. So many people. Equally, I think it's important for me to tell y'all that I'm not here to defend the use of illegal drugs. And I also understand the paradox of my history as a drug dealer standing in front of this committee. But equally, I think that's what makes me perfect to talk about this. I was a part of the problem. I am here now standing as a man that wants to be a part of the solution. I brought my community down. I hurt people. I was the uneducated man in the kitchen playing chemist with drugs I knew absolutely nothing about, just like these drug dealers are doing right now when they're mixing every drug on the market with fentanyl, and they're killing the people we love. I'll be honest with y'all, my desire is to only get older and only do better and be better. I believed when I sold drugs genuinely that selling drugs was a victimless crime. I truly believe that, y'all. My father always told me what doesn't get you in the wash will get you in the rinse. Now I have a 15-year-old daughter whose mother is a drug addict. Every day I get to look in the eyes of a victim in my household of the effects of drugs. Every single day. And every single day I have to wonder if me and my wife, if today will be the day that I have to tell my daughter that her mother became a part of the national statistics. History repeats itself, gentlemen. Even in the 1990s, crack cocaine had long made its way into my middle lower class neighborhood. And at that moment, even as a teenager, you could have never convinced me in that moment that there would be a far bigger problem on the horizon in the form of a pharmaceutical drug. And then I watched opioids and Oxycontin burst onto the scene.
There we go. I remember
I'm
when
here
that
to
shit
tell
hit.
y'all that fentanyl is going to make the Sackler family look like saints. And I want to let y'all sit with that for a second.
You know who that is, don't you?
It is time for us to be proactive and not
I think they're the ones
reactive.
that,
We were reactive with
bought
crack.
the
We were
opioids.
reactive with opioids. And y'all are taking the first step at somebody in Senate finally being proactive. I truly believe in my heart that this bill will stop the supply and can help stop the supply of fentanyl. But in part of being proactive, gentlemen and women and ladies, I have to be frank and tell y'all that if we don't talk to the other side of Capitol Hill and stop the demand, we are going to spin our tires in the mud. Y'all are taking the first step, but I encourage you to take it outside of this room and you take it to your colleagues and your constituents and you give them the most that you can. I know I've got a few seconds here, and Senator Brown said I may or may not go over. All I want to say is that I not only encourage y'all to do this, I encourage y'all to take it a step further. At every concert I perform, I witnessed the heartbreaking impact of fentanyl. I see fans grappling with this tragedy in the form of music that they seek solace in music and hope that their experiences won't befall others. They crave reassurance. These are the people I'm here to speak for, y'all. These people crave reassurance that their elected officials actually care more about human life than they do about ideology and partisanship. I stand here as a regular member of society. I am a stupid songwriter, y'all, but I have firsthand witnessed this in a way most people have not. I encourage y'all to not only pass this bill, but I encourage you to bring it up where it matters, at the kitchen table. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. DeFord. Start with
Well, him. I mean, I'm not crazy. I don't care too much for his music. I think the man can sing his ass off. And I think I would like his music more if it wasn't so outplayed or overplayed.
Overplayed.
But as far as someone that is speaking, not just from experience, but is also speaking from a common sense aspect, and then to know, think about the music that the guys rapped about and stuff like that, and the collaborations he's done, and he's actually using his influence, to try to make a difference. There's not too many artists that do it, so I'll do it. Someone actually using their influence and their social gain for something that's actually worth a damn. Anything you got to say about it, Bo?
No, I mean, you're right. I mean, somebody who came from that, somebody who came from that and actually has their platform, and using it in a way, and like, I'm gonna be honest, this is the first time I'm even hearing about it, and it's, I mean, obviously it was 2 days ago. No, 3 days ago.
Yeah, the
3 days ago now.
Yeah,
and
3.
And so I wouldn't have heard. I definitely didn't hear anything about this on the news or any Facebook little things or whatever that they put up. Their little headlines, and Google damn sure didn't tell me anything. You know what I mean? And Google wants to tell me everything.
Yeah.
It's stuff that it doesn't even matter to me. Google wants to tell me everything, but this definitely wasn't on there.
Was it what you expected?
No. I mean, yes and no.
I'm talking about from him.
No.
Me neither.
No.
And that's why whenever I heard it this morning when we were cleaning the house,
I knew he had a past, but to where he cared enough, not just for his fans, but to actually look back and realize, that he made mistakes, and publicly realize that he made mistakes, by not just calling, not just the pot calling the kettle black, he was the kettle, if that makes any sense.
And he openly said it.
So, and it's not often you see that. A lot of the times famous people like to hide their shit.
Yeah.
They like to hide their past
really
and
do.
stuff like that. It's not many of them that like to actually admit the fact that they came from a different life before they were famous, So yeah, it was good, man. It was surprising, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm one of those people, you see him and you see all the tattoos and okay, he's just another singer,
Yep.
you just don't think about them in a different way at all. You just be like, okay, he's part of the new fad with, tattoos in the face and all this other stuff, whatever. You just kind of dismiss it a little bit, but this was good though.
All right, man. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed the first episode. Are we gonna let this be the first episode?
This is gonna be the first episode.
First episode of
Talking Out the Ass.
Whole ass show, Talking Out the Ass.
See y'all next time.
Deuces, y'all.